Oh, she doth teach us a torture to burn bright, for I never saw true beauty till this night. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, a gentle sin is this. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. Day, night, time, tide, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. If you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. If you be not mine, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. Rich she shall be, mild, or come not near me, virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her, fair, or won't look on her, and her hair shall be of whatever colour it please God. Since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose the world can say against it, and therefore never flout at me, for man is a giddy thing. When I said I would die a bachelor, and I thought I should live to be married, wooing, wedding, and repenting is a Scotch jig. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a pierce of valiant dust? If I were a man, I'd eat his heart in the market-place. But I cannot be a man with wishing, so I must die a woman with weeping. He was once speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. Now, his words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go thee to thy uncle's. Kill Claudio. Fare thee well, most fair, most foul, farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. Mine I loved, and mine I praised on, and mine I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine. In all my lands and easts whatsoever, let specialities be therefore drawn between us. Ay, when the special thing is well obtained, that is, her love, for that is all in all. It is no boot to place your hand below your husband's foot, in token of duty. Our lances are but straws, our strength is weak, our weakness past compare. Craves no other tribute at thy hands, but love, fair looks, and true obedience. When she is froward, peevish, sullen, sour, and not obedient to his honest will, what is she but a foul contending rebel? I must forsooth be forced to give my hand opposed against my heart, unto a mad-brained Rudsby full of spleen, who wooed in haste and means to wed at leisure. No mates for you, unless you are a gentler, milder mould. There is nothing left remarkable. Hast thou no care for me? Shall I bide in this dull world, which in my absence knewest in the sty? These pros of infinite tongue, that can rhyme themselves into ladies' favours, they do always reason themselves out again. I speak to thee, plain soldier. If thou canst love a fellow of this nature, take me. How does he love me? With adoration's fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fire. Thy tongue, thy face, thy limbs, action and spirit, to give thee fivefold blaze on, not too fast, soft, soft. I cannot love him, yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, or of fresh and stainless youth. I'll give out divers schedules of my beauty. Item, 2 lips, indifferent red. Item, 2 grey eyes with lids to them. Item, 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. I love to steal a dish and a bottle with a friend, and hate long graces. Come, let's retire in full too. Love and beauty have their own ceremonies. Marriage is as certain a bane to love as lending money is to friendship, or neither ask nor give a vow. Thou art a form so excellent, a face and humour too good for cold dull friendship. I am a lone child, a kind of orphan lover, and why should I a maid, and in a captain's hands too, I do not understand. And if you do lose, what shall I get? A cradle of noise and mischief, with a pack of repentance on my back? What is wit and wife for, but to make a man a cuckold? Because she's ugly, she's likelier to be my own. And being ill-bred, she'll hate conversation, and since silly and innocent, she'll not know the difference twixt a man of 21 and one of 40. I'll never marry unless I'm first made sure of my will and pleasure. These articles subscribed. If I continue to endure you a little longer, I may, by degrees, dwindle into a wife. Happiness in marriage is entirely a matter of chance. You knew actual good of me, but nobody thinks of that when you fall in love. He wants nothing but a little more liveliness, and that, if he marry prudently, his wife may teach him. She was proud of him, proud that in a cause of compassion and honour he had been able to get the better of himself. Darcy had never been bewitched by any woman as he was by her. He really believed that were it not for the inferiority of her connections, he should be in some danger. She longed to know what at that moment was passing his mind, in what manner he thought of her, and whether, in defiance of everything, she was still dear to him. My reasons for marrying are, first, that I think it the right thing for every clergyman in easy circumstances. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. They want a lover and protector, and to behold him leading before them bravery prostrate to beauty. Be content to love but once in their lives, and after marriage calmly let passion subside into friendship, till the day of reckoning come, and come it surely will, to turn the sprightly lover into a surly, suspicious tyrant, against the very weakness he fostered. I am not in favour of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's character before marriage, which I think is never advisable. No married man is attractive except to his wife, and often, I'll be told, not even to her. It is very romantic to be in love. There is nothing at all romantic about a definite proposal. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. When you do become engaged to someone, I, or your father, if his health permits it, will inform you of the fact. An engagement should come upon a young girl as a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant as the case may be. It is hardly a matter she should be allowed to arrange for herself. Children begin by loving their parents. After a time they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them. All love is terrible. All love is a tragedy. I loved you once. What a tragedy for a woman to have loved you. She knew nothing about life. He knew everything. He made this girl love him. Why, you gave yourself to me like a flower, to do anything I liked with. You were the prettiest of playthings. Have pity upon my poor baby, she cried. Heap as much anger as you want on me, and welcome, but pity the child. What matter was it? From the outside of a jar, the eye of a mere observer noted the words "kills marmalade." The eye of maternal affection did not see them, in its vision of higher things. I am sorry I did wound you. I did wrong, I admit it. Only you needn't be so everlastingly flinging it in my face. If you wish, she answered indifferently, see how you've mastered me. If I had ever sincerely loved you, if I loved you still, I should not loathe and hate myself for my weakness as I do now. My eyes were dazed by you for a little, and that was all. I didn't understand your meaning till it was too late. That's what every woman says. How dare you use such words? Did it never strike your mind that what every woman says, some woman may feel? I already love your beauty, but I'm only beginning to love you in that which is eternal and ever precious, your heart, your soul. Beauty one can get to know and fall in love with in 1 hour, and cease to love it as speedily, but the soul one must learn to love. I have no heart. I have no softness there, sympathy, sentiment, nonsense. Did I never give her burning love, inseparable from jealousy at all times and from sharp pain? If she favours you, love her. If she tears your heart to pieces, and as it gets older and stronger, it will tear deeper. Love her! Love her! The tenderness of Joe was so beautifully proportioned to my need. I was like a child in his hands. What chance had I, a poor village lad, against that wonderful inconsistency into which the best and wisest of men fall every day? I loved her against peace, against hope, against all discouragement that could be. Once and for all, I loved her none the less because I knew it. Ye those clay-cold heads and lukewarm hearts can argue down on martial passions. Tell me, what trespass is it that man should have them? This good friendship camaraderie proves itself to be the only love strong as death, beside which the passion usually called by the name is evanescent as steam. She assured him that it was real. The house was full, the garden blowing. If he put implicit faith in her, nothing should hurt him, however deep he buried himself. So boasting of her capacity to surround and protect, there was scarcely a shell of herself to know herself by. Nothing is so strange when one is in love, and what was this except being in love, as a complete indifference for other people. She felt she would be given a present, wrapped up, and told you to keep it, not to look at it, a diamond, something infinitely precious. It seemed to me that there was nothing quite so shaming, so degrading, as a marriage that failed after 3 months. The fact that I loved him in a sick, hurt, desperate way, like a child or a dog, did not matter. We were not companions. We were not suited to each other. I was too young for Maxim, too unexperienced, and, more important still, I was not of his world. We sat together, Maxim and I, hand in hand, and the past and future mattered not at all. This was secure, this funny fragment of time he would never remember. I would fight for Maxim. I would lie and perjure and swear. I would blaspheme and pray. Rebecca had not won. I know we are together. We marched in unison. No clash of thought or of opinion makes a barrier. He never spoke to me. He never touched me. We stood side by side. You talk as though you thought you made a mistake. You don't mean like that, do you, Maxim? You know our marriage is a success. A wonderful success. He had kissed me too. A natural business, comforting and quiet. I wish he would not always treat me as a child, rather spoilt, rather irresponsible, often forgotten, more often patted on the arm and told to go away and play. Not for me the languor and subtlety I had read about in books. The odd provocation was unknown to me. I'm glad it cannot happen twice, the fever of first love, for it is a fever, and a burden too, whatever the poets may say. They're not brave the days when we are 21. They're full of little cowardices, when so easily bruised, so swiftly wounded. I'm asking you to marry me, you little fool. I suppose you are young enough to be my daughter. I don't know how to deal with you. We ought to be in a conservatory. You in a white frock with a rose in your hand, and a violin playing a waltz in the distance. And I should make violent love to you behind a palm tree. You would feel like you were getting your money's worth. Poor darling, what a shame. Kindness and sincerity, and, if I may say so, modesty, are worth far more to a man, to a husband, than all the wit and beauty in the world. We love each other so deeply. Of course we're perfect, a perfect thing, you and I, not two separate people, but one. Our love has lit a great comforting beacon, so that we need never be afraid of the dark any more. There seemed nothing strange or unholy in the love that she felt for Angela Crosby. To her it seemed an inevitable thing, as much a part of herself as breathing, and yet it seemed transcendent of self. So blinded was she by the gleams of glory which the stars fling into the eyes of young lovers, that she saw perfection where none existed. A bold, sensual smile suddenly transformed her expression, just the reflection of a flame illuminating a face that can alter it. Lit by fire, the softest features can look demonic, both repel and attract. The first gift, the gift of the soul before the body surrenders. Know me, look at me. This is who I am. This is how I have lived. This is what I have loved. And you, what about you, my darling? It's your life, ruin it your own way. It takes me all my time to look after myself. I know that. I thought you'd change. Motherhood's supposed to come naturally to women. It comes naturally to you, Jeff. Marry me, Helen. I'm young, good-looking, and well set up. I may never ask you again. I'm a man of few words. Will you marry me? Well, I'm a girl of few words. I won't marry you, but you talked me into it. I'm not proud. It's the thought that counts. And I wonder what thought it was in your wicked mind that made you buy it. I've got dishonourable intentions. I'm so glad. Stay with me now. It's enough. It's all I want. And if you do come back, I'll still be here. True love is, above all, an emanation of reason, a rational apprehension of another human being, a logical assessment of his or her particular needs, virtues, and failings in the light of reality. Passion puts all its energies to exaggerating reality, tightening emotional strings to the highest pitch, an all-consuming drive towards tension, drama, danger, and death. Like the fine pomanders carried by 17th century ladies to colour the effluvia of unwashed bodies and rotten teeth, it conveniently conceals the gangrenous patches in the relationship between the sexes, the reality of male oppression and female manipulation. Love, used in a romantic or passionate context, is merely a license for indulgence of our own needs and fantasies. To dream of taking the sword in the breast, the bullet in the brain, and wake up to find the world goes wretchedly on, and you will die of age and not of pain. Lay down your life for your comrade, good lad, lay it down like a doormat, lay it down like a card on a table for a kind word and a smile. Love will not be deflected by its mischief by calling it comradeship or anything else. She wondered why he was doing this, putting his mouth on her own undesiring one. What was the need? She was a long way away from him, and superior also. I loved that boy, every hair of him, every pore of his skin. I would have killed a man whose much laid a hand on him. My world was in his face. He was from another world. He was a blessing too great for me. Love is temporary madness. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away. Those that truly love have roots that grow towards each other underground, when all the pretty blossom was gone from their branches, finding that they were one tree and not two. As she ran away from him, certain in her distress that she was about to lose him, she never loved him more, or more hopelessly. They barely knew each other, and never could because the blanket of companionable near science that smothered their differences and blinded them as much as it bound them. They had been frightened over disagreeing, and now his anger was setting her free. She wanted to hurt him in order to make herself different from him. In her own eyes, as well as his, she was worthless. The Florence who led her quartet, who coolly imposed her will, would never meekly submit to conventional expectations. She was no lamb to be knifed or penetrated. "You're always pushing me, wanting something out of me. We can never just be." His hand was there because he was her husband. She let it stay because she was his wife. Almost strangers, they stood strangely together, on a new pinnacle of existence, gleeful that their new status delivered them from their endless youth. She thought he was original, and like anyone she had ever met. He always had a paperback book. None of his stocks matched. She adored his curious mind. He made her feel enveloped by a friendly cloud of love. She experienced a visceral dread, a helpless disgust as palpable as seasickness. Sex with Edward could not be the summation of her joy. It was the price she must pay for it. It's like flying or floating, or waking up and finding someone you thought was dead is really there. It's what you like doing best, and then some more. Could you be in love with someone without spooning them? It wouldn't be natural. All those house parties, people being paired off like animals at stud, it was a parasite of emotions. Nothing else could live with it, or have an independent existence while it was there. It created a desert. It wouldn't share with anyone or anything. It wanted all the attention for itself. He was shivering, partly of cold, partly terror, partly aching desire. She could feel herself through him. Her skin, the way her body existed only where he touched her. The rest of her was smoke. They weren't thinking any more. The time for that had come and gone. Smashed smiles lay ahead of them, but that would be later. Biology designed their dance. Knight's elbows rested on the water and watched them. She's 35, 3 years younger than I am. In addition to being in love, we like each other and enjoy one another's company. She's easy to be with. He dragged me around the living room, by the ankles. He kept saying, I love you, you bitch." I thought I loved my first wife more than life itself, but now I hate her guts. How do I explain that? What happened to that love? Terry's the kick me so I know you love me school. Terry, hun, don't look that way. It's dark now, and I'm very tired. I love you, always. Time is nothing. Every minute of his life has been marked by our absence. Every action lacked dimension because she's not there to measure against. Our love has been a thread through the labyrinth, the net into the high wire walker, the only real thing in this strange life of mine I could ever trust. I can reach into him and touch time. He loves me. We're married because we're part of each other. Sleep erases all differences, then and now, dead and living. I am past hunger, past vanity, past caring. I am paper-skinned, gaunt, yellow, ring-eyed, hair-matted. I look dead. I want nothing. I am waiting. I am thinking. I am sitting on our bed, holding an old padded shirt that still smells of Henry, taking deep breaths of his smell. I am conducting conversations with Henry, as though he were with me, as though he could see through my eyes, think with my brain. I love him, she thought. I'm just not in love with him, and also I don't love him. I've tried, I've strained to love him, but I can't. I'm building a life with a man I don't love, and I don't know what to do about it. Love had not endowed him with any kind of tragic grandeur, it just made him stupid and banal. Without her, he was without merit or virtue or purpose, a shabby, lonely, middle-aged drunk, poisoned with regret and shame. All that yearning and anguish and passion had been replaced by a steady pulse of pleasure and satisfaction and occasional irritation, and this seemed a happy exchange. Text her. I love you so much, so much, and I probably always will. Her lips touched his cheek. I just don't like you any more. I'm sorry.